من جديد مرحبا فيكم مشاهدينا. تقول ماريا صديقي مؤسسة Employee Consultants المتخصصة في التوظيف الطبي إن دبي لم تعد تلك المدينة التي تمثل محطة عبور نحو مستشفيات العالم، بل أصبح العالم يأتي إليها حيث تلتقي الكفاءات وتتجسد الرؤية ويولد الطب من جديد.
نعم، هذا التحول لم يكن وليد الصدفة، بل ثمرة رؤية استثنائية واستثمارات طبية رائدة جعلت من دبي وجهة عالمية للرعاية الصحية. هذا كان جوهر الحوار الذي أجرته الزميلة هالة أبو علوان في فقرة موطن الحلم والإنجاز مع ماريا صديقي مؤسسة Employee Consultants المتخصصة في التوظيف الطبي. نتابع.
يسعدنا أن يكون معنا اليوم السيدة ماريا صديقي مؤسسة شركة Employee Consultants. Good morning, Maria. Great to have you here.
And thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Pleasure. It's our pleasure. Maria, I have a curiosity.
Go for it.
Someone from a finance, in depth, having a finance role for several years, almost 6 years.
Yes. Yes.
What happened to suddenly change into health sector recruitment? What's the story?
That's a very interesting question that you've asked. So to begin with, a very interesting fact about me is I've just had one job in my life, which was in finance. I was 22 when I got the job at Thomson Reuters, and I was with them up until the end of 2018. I did the same job, and then I started my company. From a number person to a people person,
yes,
was a very beautiful journey and a very slow journey, I would say. Because I realized throughout those 6 years that I was with Thomson Reuters that it is as much about people as it is about numbers,
yes,
right? My main job was to crunch numbers, it was complex
yes,
spreadsheets and analyzing data and putting numbers together. But I realized those numbers are pointless. They're just digits on a piece of paper. If you don't have the right people to deliver those numbers. My job was to sit with different business heads and stakeholders and understand the kind of data they wanted from me, to give them insights, to take decisions. But if they were not the right people with the right caliber to even comprehend the numbers I'm telling them, with the right personality, attitude, even industry expertise, they wouldn't be able to deliver on those numbers.
100%.
So through those years, with many interactions, I realized that yes, you need brilliant people to crunch the numbers to give you insights, but equally important are the right people who can deliver on those numbers, right?
The company is about its people,
absolutely,
not the numbers.
100%,
they create
right?
The company.
They say that people don't leave bad companies, they leave bad cultures,
100%.
they leave poor leaders. So that was one of my biggest lessons. And then after 6 years, I took a break from Thomson Reuters and I thought, okay, what's next? Dubai is a land of opportunities,
100%.
right? People come here to make their dreams come true. So everybody told me that, Mara, you're meant for bigger things. But, sometimes we don't have faith in ourselves, right?
Yes.
So I took a break. And
I think we are so much relaxed with our comfort zone. Sometimes 100%. If it's working, it's working. Why to change it?
100%, So that is where I was at. And then my dad stepped in, as always, and he said, why don't you try, setting up your consultancy in HR and especially in healthcare? And that's when I thought of it. Why not? Because a couple of factors worked perfectly. Number one is my dad is from a healthcare background, so I saw healthcare very closely as it's in my family, right? And secondly, I think it was the beauty of Dubai. So we moved here in 1998. I was a child at that time, and I remember people at that time used to go from the UAE to different countries for medical treatments. Fast track to where we are today, right? And I have witnessed this firsthand, where you've now got people coming from around the world to Dubai for treatments. Healthcare is booming. It's the industry of the future. Everybody wants it,
and
right?
that's, I think, where what you're doing makes a difference
100%.
Because you're recruiting for this
100%.
industry.
Exactly.
So tell us about this industry and how your company, what solutions do you find for this industry? And as you rightly said, the expansion of this industry in a beautiful way where people gain trust now and travel here.
Yeah, 100%. So I think the right word is healthcare is very self-sufficient now in the UAE.
Yeah.
From people going out to people coming in, they have had the right strategic vision. So when you look at healthcare in isolation, the amount of public-private partnerships over the past few decades, the amount of initiatives, right, the amount of investments in healthcare infrastructure and medical technology, all of these international brands setting base over here.
Yeah.
And when you combine that with how safe the country is, you've positioned yourself as the country of the future,
Yes.
right? We talk about medical tourism, right?
Yes.
Medical is already taken care of, but
Yeah.
tourism, Dubai boasts of the best hospitality sector. You look at Burj Al Arab, you look at, you know, some of the best brands over here. So these factors really contributed. And when you've already set up an ecosystem for healthcare,
That's right.
naturally the next thing is people. People are attracted to this country,
Yeah.
right? You're already creating jobs.
Yes.
So that's where I stepped in. And we said that, you know what? We want to create a boutique consultancy where we want to bring the best talent from around the world to the best city.
And you hire
They
like
deserve
for
it.
everything related to healthcare industry.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Every level.
We hire for all positions, so from nurses to medical technicians to, most interestingly, physicians and CEOs, which is very important. So we bring the best from around the world for the best city,
Yeah.
because the city deserves it, right?
Absolutely.
And we set our company 4 years ago. We set it up. I'd like to add one more point actually to that. I think we entered as a healthcare recruitment agency into a very well-established market, which is great. Competition is always an inspiration and a
Yes.
learning lesson. But the biggest lesson for me here is customization is
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
Everything, right? To actually sit with CEOs of hospitals and to understand, where are you at right now? Where do you wish to take the hospital?
Yes.
In such a competitive industry, and to bring talent from across the world with the right caliber to work over here. I
Yes.
think that was one of our biggest challenges, but it's an opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
Customization was everything.
Every challenge is an
Everything.
opportunity, as you
Absolutely.
rightly said.
Absolutely, and on the back of that, we've actually grown. We
Yes.
now not only do recruitment in the healthcare sector, but we also work with the banking sector. We work with corporates. Yes, we're very.
So the
we're very-
recruitment is not only now specific to healthcare.
Right.
You've expanded.
Right.
Well done.
We did very well last year. We did very well in real estate and construction, actually.
Bravo.
Because that is booming. So to your point, I think opportunities are everywhere. You need to know what's actually worth it, and you need to set your heart to it, have a strategy, and go after it. So healthcare is great. We're still doing very well in it.
Amazing.
But yeah, now
You're
it's a lot of other
And
industries.
I think we are so lucky, Maria. We live in Dubai. It's a land of opportunities, right?
100%.
And opportunities are everywhere for the right people also, the smart people
Yes.
who are hardworking and
Yeah.
dedicated as well. Tell us how Dubai empowered you.
Sure. So number one, it was His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. I think we owe everything to him.
Yes,
I think he is an example of leading by example. Dubai is a perfect example of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Right? You look at where we were a few decades ago, and you look at us now, right? And I think to keep that dream going on, or to keep the spirit of entrepreneurship forward, to keep the spirit alive, there are actually quite a few initiatives that have been launched by the Dubai government to stimulate entrepreneurship in our economy, right? A couple of them would be the Mohammed bin Rashid Innovation Fund for SMEs.
Of course.
You look at the Faza Center for Business Incubators.
Yes.
And really what they're doing is they are providing you a platform to
Yes.
say, if you have a dream, if you have a concept that you wish to, bring to life, we're here for you. This
Exactly.
is where Dubai gives back to us. And in a very beautiful way, the way I put it is equality versus equity. Equality is where you give everybody a chance. Equity is where you see opportunities,
I like
just
that.
like our leader did, right?
I like
and
that.
you nurture that. So if you look at the innovation funds for SMEs, for example, they target people who are actually putting in
Yes.
the time and effort in innovation,
Yes.
right? You talk of industries of the future, AI, blockchain, fintech. Dubai actually has accelerators and programs which reward entrepreneurs on
Yes.
the basis of innovation, so equity, right? And what they do is they target that community They provide them the financial guidance. Because a lot of times, you know, Hala, I've noticed you may have the financial resources to start a business, but you don't have the business acumen.
Yes.
Right? Or sometimes you have the acumen, but you're limited with money. You're afraid. You don't want to take the risk. I think all of us have gone through that.
Actually, Maria, you mentioned like lots of ideas and startups, and this is the opportunity to achieve all of that. For the people watching us who have ideas and they want to do something but hesitant,
right?
What tips do you give them, like advise them to inspire them to just move on without any fear? And if they fail, it's fine. They will try again.
Right. I think I have two main tips. The number one, in the era of social media and everybody talking about visualizations, is manifestation is great. You can have a dream, but manifestation without consistency and discipline is pointless. Ask us, you know, we've set up businesses. You can have a dream, but you need to wake up with a consistent plan every day. And let me also say one more thing. You will not wake up motivated every day. It's not possible as a human, right? Motivation sometimes is, you know, the initial click that gets you started.
Yes.
But really consistency and discipline. Look at working out. You can't work out in a day and be skinny. You need to make it a consistent plan. Whether you are sleepy, whether you are exhausted, you show up. So that's my biggest tip that I would give. You can't give 100% every day. Some days you'll give 10, some days you'll give 20. But that's fine, as long as you're giving.
It's okay.
Right? And I will always say, you can imagine a worst case scenario because it can't get worse than that. But number one is have a support system. Very important. I've had my family, I've had my friends who've been there for me. Life is not perfect, you know, so for entrepreneurs, having a support system, being consistent is everything. You'll automatically be motivated when you see results. When you see, you know, things are working out for you, motivation happens. But consistency, really, and discipline. Plan out everything. Very important. And secondly, I would say, be curious. Never say no to learning, right? If you look at the people who sit at the top of the corporate, you know, at the top of corporates, you look at CEOs, there is no degree in knowing everything. There's no degree, right?
And no one knows everything.
No one knows everything. But if you look at CEOs, what do they have? They don't say no to learning. Whether it comes to IT, marketing, finance, they know what's happening in the company, right? So if you don't say no to learning, and if you're consistent and motivated, discipline, very important. I think you'll do wonders.
So consistency, learning, discipline, support system, curiosity are all wonderful tips. Maria, صديقي, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much
today,
for having
me. Wonderful tips. I'm sure like many young people having ideas will be inspired from hearing you.
I hope so.
Thank
you so much for having me. Thank you.